Okay. That means we are live. We are live. And
Awesome.
let's put up the right overlay. There we go.
There we
Woo.
are.
And put my ears in so I can hear you. There we go. All
Perfect.
right. Well, of course, this is the Millennial Daughter and the Mid Century Dad here live on Amazon. It is Amazon Prime Day today and tomorrow. There's all kinds of deals and early deals and discounts
Hmm.
and products. So there's lots of stuff to do here on Amazon. And one of the things that our family likes to do is watch movies.
Yes, it is.
Woo! So I had to catch my breath because I had to run and grab my phone because it was making noise. And I said, I gotta stop that from happening.
Oh no. Yeah, you got to turn that off.
Well, hey, Bethany, why don't you introduce yourself and let's get started?
Yeah, I'm Bethany Thurman and I'm the millennial daughter. And we're just here to chat, talk about some movies. That's what we like to do. Especially, I feel like this is the season to be watching movies. It's kind of when everyone it gets colder and everyone starts doing more things indoors. So this is a great time. I feel like to kind of almost just review some of our favorite movies and talk about the ones that we like. Oh, I
All
think you're
right, there we
muted.
go. The
Oh, there you
movie,
go.
the movie I want to start with is this one right here. And let's just show this one because uh, I actually live in Independence, and this is Independence Day, the
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
And so this has been a fun movie for us because I'm a big fan of Will Smith.
Mhm. Yes.
So this has been one that has kind of been a staple. Now there's Independence Day
Mhm.
2, which
Right.
I think they're both good. We only had room for so many movies. We can only put 40 movies in the carousel
Yeah.
at a time. And
Right.
back when we used to use DVDs, and even before that
Mhm.
we had VHS, we
Right.
used we had a lot more than 40.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. We always had tons and tons of movies. I feel like just
Mhm.
constantly.
Yeah.
We had our little area in the house and it was just filled with movies all the way down.
Mhm. Yep. Then we bought a stand for the TV
Mhm.
that was intended specifically to hold all the movies,
Right.
and you
Yes.
had a shelf just for your own movies.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, and we had our own like little kind of almost a flip book it was, and it was all just for CDs, that black book. And I
Hmm.
think it held, I mean, at least 100. I think probably
Hmm.
maybe more than that. But
Yep.
I remember that thing was just filled. It was filled with all of our discs.
And we had the van that had the video screen, and we could play
Mhm.
DVDs, and so that's the one that traveled with us. And we're coming up so it's October, obviously.
Mhm.
The next big holiday after Thanksgiving or after Halloween is Thanksgiving. And so one of the movies that we have to start the holiday season off with is
Planes, trains, and automobiles. That see, this movie is really, really well, first of all, it's in season. So I feel like
Mhm.
if you're coming up to Thanksgiving, kind of Halloween, this is such a good movie for the season. But this it's so funny. I mean, all around comedy
John
is
Candy,
this movie.
Steve Martin.
Yeah.
It's I mean, how can you go wrong with these two characters? It is a classic. It's been around for a while. This movie has been I think it came out 2009, I think is what it says.
Right. And the overall plot is good. You know, it's about the two guys, and he's trying to get home for the holiday season, and he's just really focused on himself and his family and trying to get there. And then you have this other guy who you know, is a little more
There's a
free
few. There's
bird.
some great lines in there. Like, how about them bears?
I know. I love the part where they're driving on the highway and he ends up driving the opposite direction of traffic. And he's going,
Yes.
"What's this guy honking for?" And he's like, "I don't know,
Yeah.
drinking." You
Yeah.
know,
They're
it's
going like
just like
they're driving the wrong way down, and the other family is like waving at them.
trying to
You're
warn him
going the
off, he's
wrong
going the
way.
wrong
You're going the
way,
wrong
and they're just
way.
making fun of him. And
John Candy
this
says,
guy's must be
"How does he
drunk.
know where we're going?" And
I
Steve
know.
Martin's like, "Yeah, yeah."
Yeah, how does he know? You know, drinking and oh my goodness, it's such a good one. Or they get pulled over because the
Hmm.
car was basically completely destroyed,
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
and
yeah.
that officer's pulling them over, and they're like, "Well, where everything works, we." It's like my speedometer is not. I can't really tell on my speedometer here. The whole thing's like melted off.
Yeah, the
It's
whole
just like,
car's burned, and yeah.
oh my gosh.
Oh, yep. We always have to start the holiday season off with planes, trains, and automobiles. And just speaking about the holiday season, then another one that we love is
Christmas
National Lampoon's
Vacation.
Christmas Vacation.
Oh my goodness, I forgot about that movie. That's the one where they have that scene where he's cutting the tree down, right?
Hmm.
Okay. That's also a funny one. I totally forgot about that
Oh yeah,
movie.
the Griswolds and Chevy
Griswold.
Chase. Yep, the
Yes.
Griswold family Christmas tree. And they go out and they chop down some 40-foot monster tree and try to tie it onto the top of their car.
Oh my
And
gosh.
but of
That's
course
that's a good
they
one.
they go all the way out there to get the tree, and they find Griswold finds the perfect tree, right?
Yeah.
But they didn't bring a saw.
Right. That was it. Yeah.
And there is so many great points about this. So this is just such a fun movie.
Mhm.
This
Is
Yeah,
that
the
Will
whole thing.
Ferrell?
Will Ferrell is not in that one. However,
Who's
let's
who's
let's
the main
pull up.
actor of that one?
Yeah, Chevy Chase
Ah,
is the main actor in that one, but
yep.
I know which movie you're talking about, and it's another one of our holiday favorites, and that's it.
Yes. That is the one I was gonna jump into that because I
Hmm.
thought that's who the main character was for that one, but Elf's a classic. I mean, come on. If you're not
Hmm.
watching Elf every year, what are you doing? I mean, it's like I remember someone telling me, Elf's kind of overrated. And I'm like, yeah, I don't care how many times I watch it. I'm only going to watch it during the Christmas season, and
Hmm.
it's perfect for it. You have to watch it at least one time.
Santa, I know him.
I know him. That's it. World's best cup of coffee.
Congratulations.
I know. You did it. You
You did
did
it.
it.
You did it. Yes. And then then he brings the what's the actress's name?
Oh, who is she? I forget who she's played by.
Hmm.
Um, I think she's been in some other films as
Oh,
well,
she's
if
been
I remember correctly.
yeah. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
Mhm.
Maybe I can look over here and see. Does it say? Who is it? Who is it? Oh well.
Her character is
Uh,
iconic though, and she has such the look, which is so
oh
perfect
yeah.
for
She's
the
great.
movie, very
Yeah.
kind of classic,
And he
old time
blindfolds her
style.
and takes her to the diner, and she's and
Just tastes like a crappy cup of
she
coffee. No, it's the world's
world's
best cup
best.
of coffee. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Oh,
There's so many good little points in that
so
too,
the
just like witty
yeah.
things.
So we start off with Independence Day, which is that classic
Mhm,
movie, right? With Will Smith. I love Will Smith.
mhm.
He's of course Men in Black 2,
Oh,
Men in Black
oh
3,
my
all
goodness.
the, I mean, he
Yep.
has been there. I Robot, another good movie,
Mhm.
another
I
Will
I know
Smith movie.
one movie that remember watching that I think is actually very underrated. I don't know a lot of it was called Earth or Back to Earth, and
Hmm.
it features Will Smith and Jaden Smith. They're in it together.
Yes,
Do you
yes.
and I
Hmm.
remember I saw it in theaters, and it was very low crowd. I think still the movie's not really top charts, but I remember it being actually really good. It was kind of
Hmm.
a scarier movie.
Yeah.
I'm not a scary movie person, so for me it was scary, but it was a little bit more intense is maybe a better
Hmm.
word to say, a more intense movie, but it's all about the earth basically dies and we were all
Hmm.
booted into space because creatures came and kind of
And
took over Earth.
and, and basically, Will Smith and Jaden Smith are lied to, right? I mean,
Yes,
they've been
right.
lied to.
Yeah, they had been told one thing about, I think, planet Earth and how it was supposed to
Yeah.
operate, and that wasn't actually accurate. So they kind of go on this journey to figure out what actually happened to Earth. And it
Hmm.
was I personally thought it was really good. I remember being kind of my heart was pounding, but I always wondered why more people didn't watch it. It was
Hmm.
actually, I mean, because it's Will Smith, first of all. Anything with Will Smith is great. So I was just kind of like, come on. But I
Hmm.
think, I I don't know, maybe the director wasn't super well known or something, but I still think that's also one that's worth the watch. It may
Hmm.
not be seasonal, but if you're a fan of Will Smith,
Well, so
can't
action
go wrong.
movies, we like action movies like Independence Day, and the holiday movies. So Planes, Trains,
Mhm.
Automobiles kicks off because it's a Thanksgiving movie,
Right.
and then let me take a look and see if I added in. Yes, I did. So let me pull this one up because this is
Which
another
one has he got?
classic family movie for the
Let's
holidays.
look.
And I'm just thinking, it's Prime Days. People are getting gifts. You're thinking about things for your family. You're thinking about the holidays. And maybe you're thinking, we're going to skip Christmas this year.
Oh my gosh. Okay. And this is the one we found kind of by accident. And I
Hmm.
think it gained popularity after the year that we initially watched it because
Hmm.
I saw that it was coming up on more things. And I think it had been kind of under the radar beforehand when we first saw this. But this is absolutely, probably right now, my number one favorite Christmas movie. It is so funny. It is so funny that
Hmm.
even after the first, it's kind of like how I think I felt with Elf, watching Elf for the first time.
Hmm. Zoe
It's
is her
similar.
name. Zoe,
Well,
the
Zoe.
actress.
Yes. Okay, there we go. I feel like I had a similar reaction to this as I did Elf. Elf was so funny and just very well done. And I feel like this was kind of a similar reaction. And it has what's the main character? His name?
Yeah, Tim Allen
Tim
and
Allen.
Jamie Lee Curtis. Yeah.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Two super good, actors and actresses. So I feel like it's just so well done. It's
Yeah. So
hilarious.
Christmas with the Cranks is one that we can definitely recommend. It's another great family movie. So uh, start your season off with Planes, Trains, and Automobiles
Yes.
as you go into Thanksgiving, and then Elf, Christmas Vacation, Christmas with the Cranks. That's what was it like $600 for ornament repair?
It's such a relatable
Hmm.
funny. That's the
Hmm.
kind of funny it is. It's very
Yeah.
relatable funny. It's not just they have witty comments going everywhere. It's more like everything that they're doing, I feel like could relate to any family. And it's
Hmm.
just the funny things that happen during the holiday season in families. And it makes it that much more funny because it's just, I mean, I remember watching it, I look at mom and I'm like, that's you.
Oh, yes.
know,
Yes. She
it's
has to
her.
pull out her Christmas vest.
Yes, her Christmas vest, and she's trying to get all the food for the season and their party, and she can't. She's
Hmm.
walking after the ham. You remember the honey
Oh my
honey
gosh.
hickory ham,
The
and they're
honey
out.
hickory. Don't. ever say honey hickory ham.
Oh my gosh. It is so good. She's running after it. She's racing that older lady in the store.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's never too late to invest in your kid's future.
Yes,
Chick
when
chick.
she's trying to buy it from the oh my
It's,
gosh.
it's just
These are
perfect.
great movies. I'll tell you what's another good movie to quote from? Rat Race.
Oh my good. I win. I win. I win.
Absolutely. Yeah, there are this movie is packed with so many good actors,
Mhm.
so many little storylines, and they all come together as they're chasing after this $1 million prize. And absolutely, you've got Mr. Bean in there, right?
Yeah.
And just all these great characters. There's so much
Mhm.
going on.
And you get to see every aspect of each individual on how they're gonna win the race or how they're trying to win the race anyways,
Mhm.
and trying to get there, and that's the funny part is you get to go through this whole, kind of lineup and go through each one and see what they're doing.
Yeah. There was a movie that came out, I think it was in the 60s. It was called It's a Mad, 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 Mad World. I think it's mad four
Hmm,
times. And it's a very similar uh, um, concept, right? Where
okay.
you have a number of different people that come together, all
Mhm.
trying to beat each other to a prize. And
Right.
Rat Race is very much the same way. And so they're being bet on. They're being bet.
Right.
There's a whole group of people that are betting to see who's going to be first and who's going to
Mhm.
do this. And it's just very Las Vegasy,
Yeah,
but
yes, uh-huh.
mhm,
Definitely kind of gives off that vibe of kind of Las Vegas and showy and kind of a little bit glamorous at the beginning,
mhm.
and then you go into the movie and
And it ends with great music by Bare Naked Ladies on the
Mhm.
stage. They have a big concert, and the ending is so worthwhile. But
Yes.
this is another great one for just a great family afternoon. If you're thinking,
Mhm.
what do we want to do? Maybe we've got kids, grandkids, neighbors. Bring them over and watch Rat Race.
Mhm.
That is one of my favorites. And I'm just going to go through here. Here's another one, Beth, that we as a family have really enjoyed this movie.
Okay. Oh,
Thunderbirds are
god.
go.
Good. Oh, good pick. This is one of the ones that I made my husband watch because I'm just like, "You've never seen Thunderbirds? Like, what are you doing?" And again, it's one that's definitely, I'm sure, under the radar, not super well
Mhm,
known, but such a fun, very fun, family-friendly movie, great for
mhm.
kids,
Yeah,
kinda cheesy, but also just fun and funny. There's lots of good funny parts into it, so it makes it more of a comedy, keeps it good and interesting, the plot line's great. Um, I think it's all around a pretty well-rounded movie, if you just
yeah.
want something that's fun.
Bill Paxton, he's passed away since this movie was filmed, but
Mhm.
he's the dad, and
You also have
the
Vanessa
leader of the yep, the
Hudgens.
leader of the family, and
Gosh.
the Thunderbirds. And this was based off of I believe it was a British TV show where all the
Mhm.
characters were marionette puppets, and so it was not animated, but it was these
See.
puppets. You were watching basically a puppet show,
Oh,
and then
interesting.
they turned it into a live action movie. And if you watch, there's actually a scene where they're turning the thrusters on to one of the Thunderbird machines, and it's a marionette hand
Oh,
that's
is
doing
it
it.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
yep,
I said Hutchinson, I was thinking of Josh Hutchinson, it's Vanessa Hudgens, but,
yeah.
I mean, everyone knows her, and
She's
she's in
so
it.
good. She's
Mhm.
so good. Thunderbirds, yeah.
Yeah.
So Thunderbirds is fun because you've got the kids are the heroes. but it's the hero's journey, and he's kind of all into himself, and he doesn't want to be a kid. He wants to be a grown up, but it turns out that his friends they all work together to
Yeah.
save the parents. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Thunderbirds are go.
Go. FAB.
FAB. That was wow. How could we do that? That was so that is a good one.
FAB hour.
You know, one of the things that I was telling friends, I go, look, my daughter and I are going to be doing Amazon Live. It's Prime Day. We're going to be talking about movies because that's what we do. And nobody laughs more than Bethany and her dad together.
Yep.
And so as we were putting, as I was putting this together, I also said, but my daughter is a big singer. And I don't think we're going to be able to get through this whole show with her not singing something.
Oh. Oh, the Greatest Showman. This is the greatest show. Yes. Oh my goodness. So this is probably one of my maybe favorite musicals. I hesitate because I'm like, there's so many good musicals out there, and I'm a musical fanatic. I love them. I enjoy them very much, wholeheartedly. But this was one that I feel like people who aren't very into musicals really connected with still. And that's why it was so popular and going everywhere, in my opinion, because everyone found a relation, like everyone could relate to this movie in some way, shape, or form, whether they were kind of enjoying musicals or not. I remember Mom actually said to me, I was kind of nervous about it when I saw Zac Efron because she only remembered him from High School Musical, which for her, but for me, yes. But this was such a great one for her to see. Oh, he's actually a really fantastic actor, good singer as well. And this was one that, tops the charts for me. Also, my husband loves it. I remember going to work and people just were singing it and playing it and talking about it. I mean, it just went crazy. And I didn't know that Hugh Jackman was a singer because I just remembered him from X-Men.
Well, and I was going to say, most of the guys just think of him as Wolverine.
Yes.
And
it was such a surprise.
And he's phenomenal.
It's phenomenal. And I remember he came out and my jaw dropped because I didn't beforehand. I don't research movies a lot beforehand. I just kind of hear about them, maybe watch a quick trailer, but this one I don't even think I saw a trailer. I just heard everyone loved it and I went to go watch it. And so I didn't know that he was in it, and I just was gobsmacked. I just couldn't believe it. I was like,
your mother and I went to see this one first, and I actually didn't. I wanted to go see it because it was P.T. Barnum, and this is something I grew up with. I mean, when I was a kid, I went to the the Barnum and Bailey, Ringling Brothers Barnum and Bailey circus, the greatest show on earth, down in Anaheim, at the convention center down there, right across the street from Disneyland. And so this was part of my growing up. So P.T. Barnum, I wanted to go see. I thought it was almost like a documentary.
Right.
And it does tell some history. And I think it puts him in a really good light compared to what maybe people think of P.T. Barnum. And it surprised me. Here's this musical, and it's Hugh Jackman. And oh my gosh, the behind the scenes. I tell people, you have got to watch the making of this movie, because there's a point where he had nose surgery. Surgery.
Yeah. So in that video, to get everyone together, they talk about getting everyone together to actually go through the music, have everyone do their part, because that's what you have to do in musicals. But they had a lot of people in this film that are, I don't know if the term's critically acclaimed, just really amazing actors and actresses. And getting people who are such high profile all together for one go is insanely difficult. And so
Mhm.
when they finally picked a date to get everyone together, he had gotten, I think they said, a skin graft done and in his nose, and they had just stitched it, and they said, you can't sing
Mhm.
because you'll blow the stitches. And they were like, we can't tell everyone that's coming that Hugh Jackman's not going to do his parts because
Right.
no one's going to come. So they kept it quiet because they were just like, we're not going to say
Mhm.
anything. And everyone showed up, and the guy that they had doing Hugh's part, I know from Joyful Noise, the movie, which is
Mhm.
another great film if people haven't seen. But um and he's the one doing it, and then Hugh just can't take it, and he has
Yeah.
to sing his part, and that's where I would recommend watching that film. It's
He
amazing.
the guy who was doing it from Joyful Noise was great. I mean, he
Yeah,
was really good.
right.
And then it's like over the top. Hugh
And then
Jackman
it's
comes
like,
in.
that's why Hughes has that
Wow.
part. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
So,
And there's two behind the scenes for that one and This Is Me. If you watch that one as well, it's another
mhm.
great behind the scenes look.
Yeah.
So,
So, action adventure, seasonal movies, comedies,
mhm.
those are all good.
Right.
I'm going to throw this one up there too.
Oh, so good. I'm so glad she thought of this one. Oh my goodness. This is
Mhm.
one that I'll even watch on my own time. If I just want to sit and not think too hard about anything and just
Mhm.
have a good feel good movie, I will put this
Yeah.
on because that's the kind of movie it is.
Mhm.
Obviously, I recommend seeing number 1 as well, but number 2 is the funny version of number 1. Number 1's a little more serious, still funny,
Mhm.
but I'd say number 2 is a straight comedy.
I liked number 2 better.
Yeah, I do too.
I
I
liked
do
the first
too.
one. I think it was a
Yeah.
great concept for a movie, right?
Yes.
Good.
Uh-huh.
And I really loved it. But there was just something about
Mhm.
2. There's some great scenes. So, the whole families have kind of moved along, and here's this old rival, right, that
Mhm.
Steve Martin has.
Yes.
And they go to the lake, right?
Yes.
And then there's all these things that happen. Was it
Yeah.
Lake Winnemucca? I forget. No, that's a different one.
Wit Connect Winnetka.
Anyway,
Lake
it's the
Lake
and they have
Winnetka.
these games between families, and so uh yeah.
I know.
I'll just
It
tell people you got to watch it because it is just a funny movie.
Are you gonna
It's
poke
great
me?
family
No, I
dynamics.
was not gonna poke you. You were gonna poke me. Give me your best. Give me your best.
Yeah, you call that a poke? That was a practice poke.
Yeah.
That
You call
was a
that a
practice
poke?
poke.
I call that practice
Oh
poke.
yeah. Yep. Yep. And it's the Murtaugh family, and they get into the canoe. Murtaugh.
And they all look over, and he just looks at
Murtaugh.
them. Yep.
Very regimented. I think the great thing is that so many of us can relate family wise to
Yes.
this, to that perfect family that,
Mhm.
we had some competition
Mhm.
with or whatever. So cheaper by the dozen, one, cheaper by the dozen, two. If you had to choose two.
Yeah, choose 2, definitely. And
Yeah.
it's good, it kinda goes over to, like, the whole parenting, stuff and
Oh yeah.
dealing with people who kinda judge your kids. I liked the parts where they were funny, but they were also relatable, where Murtaugh's, going, "Well, Tom, there's a reason your kids are screw-ups," and he's going, "My kids screwed up. They're not screw-ups."
Yes.
And it's
Yep.
just like, "One day your kids are gonna crack," and he's going, "You think I'm really screwing up my kids?" And he's going,
Hmm.
"Yeah." And I think though, as much as that seems funny, that's kind of what jump starts you into that whole main
Hmm.
point of the movie, which is the
Yeah.
race or the competition that they have.
Hmm.
So,
Another so comedies, holiday movies, action
mhm,
adventure. One of the movie styles. that we don't have a lot of in the carousel here is the romantic comedy. We don't have a lot of
Oh.
romantic comedies, but this is one that most guys can actually watch.
Oh, classic. A classic. This was another one that I just went, "Oh my goodness, my husband, you have to watch this. Like, you just have to
Mhm,
see this." It's and you know what? They made a number 2, and I remember mom and I saw it.
mhm.
Um, and kinda like every sequel that tends to come out, in my personal opinion, a lot of sequels can
Yeah.
be eh. I felt like it was a little more eh, but I highly recommend this version. It is
Oh, yeah, the original My Big Fat Greek Wedding, they even tried to make a TV series out of it. But just watch the movie, the main movie,
mhm,
and don't worry about all the rest. Don't
mhm.
get them. Don't look at the TV series. My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and it's another great movie for
Mm.
quotes. If you love, so we talk a lot in movie language, and
Yes.
so as a family, and so you know, it's like they're going to offer us some food, and it was just like, oh, uh, uh, Ian is a vegetarian. It's like what?
What?
Yeah, he doesn't eat meat. What?
What do you mean he don't eat no meat?
That's okay. I make
I make
lamb.
lamb.
Oh my
Oh my
gosh.
goodness.
And then
So,
the
so
and then the
good.
brothers. Have
Oh, yeah.
you heard her?
"Hey,
I'm gonna
Ian,
kill you.
we're
I'm gonna
gonna
kill you.
kill ya."
I'm kidding. I'm gonna kill you.
Yeah. My son, Nikki, Nico, and my daughter, Nikki, and I am Gus. It's just like, oh my
There's
gosh.
so many
The
classic
bun cake, I
quotes.
mean, there's
Oh
just oh
yes.
my goodness. Good thing you're
It's a
lucky
bunt.
for you,
Bunt. It's a bunt.
I have you to tie my shoes. I mean,
So
that scene had my eyes just going,
if you want to
"True
watch,
business."
if you even if you don't like romantic comedies, and many men don't,
Mhm.
but this is a great one that you can
It's
watch
funny.
with the family. It's a fun movie.
It's
It's a
it's a f
fun,
it's a funny one.
yeah.
Anything that's funny enough, I think, will get, a lot of men's attention, and that was the thing, at least for my husband, was
Yeah.
it was funny, and so as much as it was kind of romance as well,
Mhm. Yep.
he liked it. It was entertaining.
Oh yeah. So I have got two movies here with one of our favorite actors, Kevin James.
I think I know which one you're pulling up.
Well, I have two of them, and I'll let you choose. Decide which.
Here Comes the Boom.
Oh yes, here you go. There you go. There you
I'm
go.
like, "Let me get this right." Yep.
Boom. Here comes the boom.
Oh
So
my goodness.
this is a great one. So Kevin
Mm,
James is a disillusioned high school teacher. He'd had one teacher of the year. He was a great teacher, but the system kind of beat him down.
mhm.
And as it turns out, he was an ex wrestler, and they're going to discontinue the music program for his friend. And he goes out and becomes an MMA fighter to
Yes,
raise money for the students, or for the teachers, so they can keep the music program.
right. Yeah, and this one too, kind of almost it was both. It was serious, it's funny, and
Mhm.
it's also relatable. It's kind of all 3, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
the message and the overall plot are so good. Very,
Oh yeah.
all about how we can lose that focus and how children and kids kind of sometimes have it a little more together.
Mhm.
And I think it was actually a great message to kind of show, what adults say to children and to kids can really be taken seriously by
Mhm.
them, and
Yeah.
it will determine the way that they can move through life, especially when you're a teacher. And so this was such a good, I think, a reminder for adults, but also just such a great watch for kids because it's so funny.
Oh,
So it's
and
a mix
Henry
of both.
Winkler as the music instructor,
Dig in,
Summer
I call it a
Halleck
day.
is is another teacher there, and kind of the romance that goes on with that. And
Yes.
Kevin James, he's trying so hard, but
Mhm.
doing a bad job at it.
Yep. Yes. You haven't
Oh
even
my
given
gosh,
up.
yeah. Yep. And then Henry Winkler, he's just he plays his role so well. Is they get this theme song and they're getting ready for Kevin James to come into the ring into the MMA fight. And he's got this boom box and he's playing the song and he's just intimidation.
And
Oh my.
so, one of my favorite parts of the movie, I just have to say, is when he pukes from the applesauce, and they're all driving home, and it's quiet. Who in their right mind makes their own applesauce and leaves it in the back of the car in the sun where it's
Oh
just
my gosh.
cooking under that heat? Yes, yes. Mistakes were made, but we won.
We won. We won.
Because that
Yeah.
was his first match that he won. But oh my goodness, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yep. And
Another great film.
Twisty. Twisty.
Yeah, Twisty.
Twisty is Twisty good. Twisty's good.
Twisty's good.
Twisty's good. So this
Yeah.
movie, definitely Twisty. Next,
Yes,
Kevin James.
Mall Cop. Yep, that was the other
Blart
one.
Mall Cop.
Knew it. Another. This one specifically is so good for kids.
It
This
is
one's
a lot of
so
fun.
good for
Yeah.
kids. Just a
Yep.
fun, well-rounded movie. Funny,
Yep. He's got to. So here's the mall cop. He wanted to be a police officer, had a medical condition, wasn't able to complete the training, ends up being a mall cop, takes his job very seriously. And it turns out he had to be the hero. He did better than the police and rescued everybody. There are some great lines in this one, some great physical comedy.
Slap it, respect it.
Yep.
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 Lots of
And
good.
when he's talking to the boyfriend who's put the tracker onto his girlfriend's phone, he calls him up. Do you still have the tracker on? You know I do, Paul. You know I do. Oh, and he's
his
trying to get
name
his
was, like,
profile
David.
for the dating app.
Uh-huh.
His daughter's trying to help him.
That's the first scene where I just went, "Oh, no."
You feel
Here's
so
going,
sorry for Paul Blart.
yes, yeah. Yeah, no, this was another good one. Another quotable, family-friendly, very kid-friendly.
Oh yeah. Yep. So we talked about the action adventures. There was one that you were talking about a movie maybe being a little scary. And I will say this next movie is one that maybe took you a little bit more to get used to.
Okay. Oh, so this is actually my favorite movie as I got older. So this right now is my favorite movie. I think from a long time, I think you're probably going to have it in the carousel, so I'm not going to say it, but you probably know what my childhood favorite movie was.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
this one has been a very big favorite of mine. It's a weird movie and it's so good. And again,
Mhm.
I think it's very underrated. I don't think that a lot of people know about it. And maybe they
Mhm.
do, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought and think that it's fantastic. Yes, I would describe it as a little creepier for me. I
Mhm.
definitely remember, I think you and mom were watching it for the first time, and I was not very into it. I think the beginning I was into it, but then there were some creepy parts, and I remember I
Mhm.
was kind of like, I can't watch it. And as I got older, I finally went all the way through and I went, this is such a good movie. And it's funny. It's also
It's
funny.
got some funny stuff in it, and it's rated
Yes.
PG. I would say PG-13.
I'd
I don't
say
think
it's
this is really.
borderline PG-13. I definitely don't think it's for like young kids. I think
Yeah.
it's definitely more of an adult or young adult
Mhm.
movie. Definitely. I don't think I'd recommend it for children.
Yeah.
at least because I remember me having that reaction to it, but it's really good, and it's
And
very
the
sci-fi.
Yeah, and it's a very, like, 1930s thing,
Right.
is the way it
Yes.
was kind of. And if you watch the how this movie was made, this guy had this idea for the story for Sky Captain World of Tomorrow, and he
Mhm.
wanted to animate it himself. So he, like, got the software and started doing it, and he spent months and months and months, and he
Mhm.
realized he had not even made 30 seconds of the
Yeah.
movie or something. It was just terrible.
Right.
And but he ends up getting some backing. They get Jude Law, Gwyneth Paltrow as the leads. I
Angelina
mean,
Jolie.
these are just killer good actors.
Such good actors, and the overall plot too is really good.
Hmm.
Very science fiction slash, you
Captain
know,
America type.
fantasy and
Yeah.
adventure
Hmm.
and witty, and it's funny. I laugh a lot in it. I really enjoy Gwyneth, she plays Polly Perkins, is that right?
Hmm. Yep.
And Polly Perkins' character for me is so relatable. Very
Mm.
independent, very adventurous, very curious kind of woman. Doesn't really fit in with the norm for what they're trying to make that time up to be. And also
Hmm.
very sarcastic, which I love, just has
Yep.
something to say about anything. And I love that.
And she's a reporter, and she's takes photographs for the newspaper.
Yes.
And this is back. People got to remember this was with
Mhm.
film, with a roll
Yes.
of film, and that
Right.
wasn't digital, where it's like almost
Mhm.
unlimited.
Mhm.
And there's some great scenes where she's like, she is it worthy? Is it worthy of taking a picture? There's some great things.
Yes. Yes. Very funny and very her character kind of romance as well, her
Hmm.
character with what's Polly Perkins and then Sky Captain.
Hmm.
And they
Yep.
kind of have this romance that they're almost battling where both of them know that they like each other, but
Hmm.
obviously something happened in their past where they tried to get together and it sounds like he might have cheated on her. And so they're kind of just
Yep.
taking a slow approach, but kind of just both
Yep.
mad at each other, and so there's a lot being said and going back and forth, kind of like
Hmm.
banter, and that's the parts that to me are just really funny and very
I love it.
witty comments.
More great
So,
quotable lines out of that one.
yes, yes. Oh,
So
definitely.
Sky
Oh,
Captain, the way I always think of Sky Captain too is it's at the very beginning. It starts off with sirens, right? The air
yes.
raid siren, and these
Yeah.
giant, they look like airplanes, but it turns out they're flying robots,
Yep.
and they come into the city and they're terrorizing, and nobody
Mhm.
knows what's going on.
One of my
Oh,
favorite
it's
scenes
just a,
is she shows up into his office space after he just finished saving the world, right?
mhm.
And she's sitting in the corner and he's pulling out milk of magnesia because although he's a pilot, he gets kind of nauseous, right?
Nauseous.
So
Yep.
it's kind of like this personal scene and he's pulling this out and he hears her move and he, holds up his gun because he doesn't know who it is. And she goes,
Hmm.
"Oh, stomach ache." And it's just like this get out of my office, and she's going, "Oh, what are you going to do? Shoot me?" Just very,
Yes.
I mean, just knows how to get
Hmm.
on his nerves and irritate him. And it's so good. It's so funny. They end up meeting up with Angelina Jolie, who plays a role as well in the movie. And you also kind of get to know a little bit more of her backstory with the captain, and so her and Polly kind of have this, you know, battle between the two of them for
Yep.
the captain as well. So,
So people can, if you think of another one that we don't have in the carousel, but it's Raiders of the Lost Ark. So there's some elements
oh,
that are similar to Raiders of the Lost Ark
mhm.
that you find in Sky Captain, but Sky Captain is just not as well known. But I think
No,
it's a
mm-mm.
great movie, and
Yeah,
certainly worthy of people watching it. So
right. And because it's not
um,
well known, it's affordable.
yeah.
So you might want.
And so that's and so I definitely recommend that one.
Mhm.
We have a trio of movies, and I actually have a poster right behind me because
Oh my
Star
god.
Wars, Star Wars 4,
Yep.
5, and 6. The original three Star Wars. This
Oh my
first one
goodness.
came out in 1977, and Craig Miller was one of the guys that was an original publicist. He was essentially right out of college and was one of the publicists for Star Wars, and The New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back. I got to interview him here live on Amazon as well and talk about his history. So he's got a great book. So Star Wars Memories is his
Mhm.
book, Craig Miller. So people can find that here. Um, the classic, A New Hope,
Yep.
1977. I was there. I was in high school, was working on a farm, and this movie, this space movie comes out, science fiction thing, and so my friend and I, we took an afternoon and we went to the theater. It was a Thursday afternoon, 1 o'clock matinee. There were 6 people in the theater,
Wow.
me, my friend, and 4 other people, and we watched this movie, A New Hope, Star Wars. It ends, and we walk out, and we go, "Wow, this is a great movie. Too bad more people aren't seeing it." We didn't know that in New York City there was lines around the block for people to watch this. It's just people didn't go to the 1 o'clock movie on Thursday afternoons, and that was a. It was so unbelievable.
Right.
Great cuts, great characters,
Yeah.
storyline, as they call it, the space opera, like a soap opera, like
Oh,
a
okay.
soap opera, but it
Right.
was the space opera, right? So you've got all these characters and
Oh.
these different stories, and this person's related to that person, and of course
Yep.
later on we find out that Luke and Leia are brother and
Mhm.
sister, and their dad is
Yeah.
Darth Vader, and
Oh my goodness. I never really realized how much of a Star Wars nut that I was until I was, well, first of all, till I was married and my husband had not seen Star Wars, which I'm still confused because I'm like, who hasn't seen Star Wars? If you haven't seen what are you doing? What are you talking about?
Mhm,
And he still has not seen. I actually got him finally through the first one, but I mean,
mhm.
I've never met someone who's never seen it, but it happens. And you know what? I just went, "Oh my goodness, it's a must. If you haven't seen Star Wars, it's a must see." And I now realize there are people who haven't seen Star Wars, and if you haven't,
When you get a movie that's over 40 years old, there are a lot of people that won't see it. And
true.
but classics, right? The
Yeah.
original Star Wars changed culture in a lot of ways.
Yes. Well, and they're long. I think a lot of people now, who probably haven't seen them, I know that for my husband, that was something that he's like, "Well, it's just really long." And I'm going, "Yes, because it's packed full
Hmm.
of just such good film, animation, CG, everything,
Hmm.
adventure, comedy. It's kind of witty sometimes.
Hmm. Sure.
Um, Everything. I mean, the whole thing, it doesn't get boring. And I
Yeah.
think that's the main, it might be long, but you never get bored.
There's some
That's
great,
the thing.
there are more great lines, more quotable lines in there. Like when Leia tells Han Solo, uh, I love you. He's like, I know.
Yeah.
Just I know. And then he gets
Han
frozen right
Solo.
in the carbonite, and
I know it.
it's like Obi-Wan has taught you well, but you're
I
no Jedi yet.
The amount of quotes that are like made on t-shirts even,
Mhm.
I mean,
Oh yeah.
it's just very, 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 very quotable.
Mhm.
And
Well,
I'd
yeah.
say kind of family. I don't know. Would you say that it's a family friendly? I would say so. I think
Oh
there's
yeah.
still
Yeah.
parts that could be maybe a little scary, but
Yeah,
I
it's
think
a
overall,
there's a beheading or two, but they're very quick. So
gosh.
I'm just saying, I'm just warning people that haven't seen it and have young kids. There are they're moments, right? Um,
There's just a beheading or two. There's just a few, but you're right. They are scenes that it kind of leads up to it. You kind of know, you know, what's going to happen when you're
yeah,
getting there. So
in
you do have a plenty of warning
yeah,
to be able to hide the eyes or something. And the whole
hmm
thing is not
yeah.
centered around that.
And then and in the first movie, um, there's that scene where Luke comes back after meeting Obi-Wan, and the stormtroopers have been there, and his aunt and uncle have been killed. That's a
Mhm.
kind of a gruesome thing, but it's just a
Yes.
moment.
Yep.
But
There is that scene, and again, I think you kind of know leading up it might be scarier. I think they definitely do well with the music, the soundtrack, everything involved in Star Wars is iconic, and
mhm,
they really use the musical aspects to kind of direct and help direct a lot of those scenes, and I feel like that kind of helps give that warning, that something is gonna be a little bit more, sad or scary, because they really do use the music to dictate that. But definitely that scene is a rough scene to watch,
mhm,
but
yeah.
it is still crucial in the upcoming scenes after.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, and it really sets the stage for who's the bad guys,
mhm,
right? Because we don't know. We're just watching the movie for the first time. We don't
right.
know who. But I think those are good movies. It's a good series. It is a lot to watch, especially if
Yes.
you're going to say, "I want to watch all of them." That's
Oh.
you're making a commitment to it. But hey, in today's world of binge watching,
Mhm.
you know, because the comedian said, "Hey, tell you what, Beth, I'm going to film a movie. It's 8 hours long," and you're like, "No, I'm not going to watch an 8 hour movie." He said, "Oh, okay, no, hold on. No, what I'm going to do is we're going to film 8 segments and put it on Amazon, and then you binge watch all
All 8.
episodes in one time."
Yep.
So there you go. We love action
Yep.
adventure. Here's another good one.
Oh, I'm so glad you thought of this one. This is such a good movie, and it's another underrated movie,
Yes,
and
indeed.
I do not understand why, and I don't remember where I saw this, but you have these 2 guys, and they're both secret agents, right? And you
Yep,
have the one guy, and he actually used to be a criminal,
yep.
and they finally capture him, the guy on the left there, and they give him basically a plea deal that you can work for the government because they don't want his talent to go to waste. And in return, we won't be locking you up for the rest of your life because of the crimes you committed, but you're working for the government for the rest of your life, doing what we want you to do. Versus the other guy who just came from kind of a I think, lower income family or something like
Well, and
that.
this is during the days of the Cold War, where it was the West against the East, the
That's right.
basically America versus Russia, the Soviet
Yes.
Union, and
Yeah,
so
and
it's
you
kind
got
of this
these 2
struggle,
guys.
and it was based on a TV show from the '60s, Man from Uncle, and I think they set this up that they were going to make a series, but they only made the one.
They only made the one, and I think maybe because, again, it's a very underrated movie, it maybe didn't
Hmm.
do as well as they thought it might, but it's
Yeah,
such a great watch, and the overall
yeah.
plot line's fantastic. You have these 2 men who are going through trying to both of them are actually trying to get the same, I'll say, goal. They're going for the same goal, not to spoil anything, but
Hmm.
essentially they're working together, but also their peers have given them hey, if everything goes
uh,
well and you come out on top, you are
that's even
basically getting
better.
rid of the other guy, right?
Hmm.
Because they
Yeah.
know that both sides want the same thing, even though they're working together. So essentially, it's race to who gets it first, but we're going to help each other. And whoever gets it first is going to be the one to probably kill off the other.
Yeah.
And so
And
it's good. It's
Henry Cavill, the actor.
yes.
I mean, he's got that pure Hollywood leading man look.
He
He's
is
the dude.
very handsome man. And it's such a Superman. Is he the one who plays Superman?
No, I don't think so. I
No,
don't think he
because
did, but
that's kind of the
yeah,
look that it reminds me of,
hmm,
is
yeah,
very, like, I don't remember which version of Superman it is because 'cause there's been so many, but there is
right.
a version of Superman where, it looks very much like Henry, in this movie,
Hmm.
but I mean, you got good-looking people, you got witty, you got funny, and you got action. Very actually, I'd say it's very funny. It's borderline comedy, very
Well, there's
comedy.
yeah, there's enough moments that lighten up the action, right?
Yes, yes. Mhm. I'd say there's some
So
moments where it might be a little cheesier, but I feel like that just adds to the whole film.
I'm going to skip by a couple of other movies that I have in here because we're kind of running time here, and but for me, there was a couple of movies growing up. One of them was the uh, the original Planet of the Apes,
Mhm,
and this came out 1967, 68, 1968.
mhm.
It was actually the first movie that I remember watching. It
Wow.
was at a drive-in theater with my parents down in Southern California, and it was Planet of the Apes. And we were watching that, so watching it from the back of the car. I probably slept through a bunch of it, but it is actually the very first movie that I ever remember seeing.
Wow.
So that, and then after that, I also have 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Mhm.
This is another one of those long movies. A lot of people like, I tried to watch it, I don't understand
Right.
it, and all that thing.
Mhm,
Um, but for me, it's just encapsulates a lot of that kind of
mhm,
60s mentality and what the future
mhm,
would look like, and very
mhm,
kind of hopeful and yet guarded. So there's some good things there. Another one is Miracle, which is about the 1980 US hockey team,
yes.
and
Mhm,
that is another great story, very inspiring.
mhm.
Whether you're a sports fan or not, it is a great inspirational story.
Yes.
So, uh, but what I'm going to jump to is a Tom Hanks movie because I love Tom Hanks. I think
Mhm.
he makes some really good movies. And one of the movies that he came out with when he was very young, a very young Tom Hanks, Big.
Yep. Fantastic film. Fantastic
The
film.
little boy who just he dreams of being
Yes.
a grown up,
Mhm.
and
Yep,
his
that's
wish
what
is
he wants.
granted. His wish is granted in all the merry mix-ups that occur.
Yes. Yes. I will say Big's a good one. It's just, all around good film. If I
There is the classic scene in this one that many people have seen this because it's so iconic, dancing on the giant piano keyboard and playing music,
Yes.
playing
Uh-huh.
chopsticks
Right.
at the toy store. And
Mhm.
that's where he kind of gets his break and
Mhm.
becomes a toy advisor.
Yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah,
Big. I
definitely a good
love
one.
I love Big. I like Tom Hanks movies in general. We talked about like Will Smith
Mhm.
and the different movies that Will has put together, and they're so much fun.
Mhm.
His
If you were
movies.
gonna if you were gonna give your top 5 of movies that we have here, what would
Mhm.
be your top 5?
Well, we haven't gotten to my favorite movie, which is Wizard of Oz. But I like Wizard of Oz. I think the Star Wars: A New Hope,
Mhm.
and I don't know. Would this be it? No, this is not on my list of the top movies, but it is a very fun movie.
Would this be it? And I'm going,
Pee Wee's Big
"Pee-wee."
Adventure. Oh, well, I think there's so many fun movies like that we don't have, like Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yes.
That
Yeah.
is that's a classic movie. Um, some of these 80s cult classics like the Bonsai Buckaroo, Buckaroo
Mhm.
Banzai,
Oh, yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And the journey across the ninth dimension.
Yep.
Another movie we don't have, but we only have room for 40 movies, and we're going to skip a bunch of them because we can only get to so many. But Pee Wee's Big Adventure, I mean, this is just a goofball movie.
Yep. Oh yeah. Very, very, very kid oriented, very kid friendly. All around feel good movie. I remember being little and there was I think a few scenes that kind of spooked me out, but
Mhm.
they weren't intense
Yeah.
scary. They were just
Mhm.
silly scary.
Yeah.
So definitely recommend this one for kids especially. You know, he's going really on his big adventure looking for his bike. His bike
Mhm.
gets stolen from him by his arch enemy, and he's going on this
Yes.
adventure to try and get it back. And he kind of gets lost along the way and goes all these routes all the way back to the beginning. And it's very, very, very funny.
I don't know how many times that I've had friends that have gone to San Antonio and are going to go visit the different sites around there, like the Riverwalk and the
The
Alamo.
Alamo.
And I said, while you're at the Alamo, don't forget to check the basement to see
Don't
if Pee Wee's
check the
bike is there.
basement. There's no basement. Yes, this is a really, really good one, especially for children, but just really, really entertaining.
It's just such a classic little
Yes.
movie. We so some of the comedies, right? I mean, you gotta. There's just
Mhm.
some of these are just kind of, like I said, they're kind of goofy, but
But 'tis
they're
the
all,
season.
yeah,
You know, we
yep.
want something that's feel good, family friendly. That's kind of what you're looking for. I do highly recommend Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. That's
Hmm.
probably my top movie. It's just weird. It's weird and it's fun to look at. You know, it's really if you're someone who likes to pick apart, you know, how movies are created, it's a really great one for just kind of breaking down and being very interested in how they created the whole movie to look a certain way and the
Hmm.
characters and the plot, you know, of them going on this kind of adventure to save the world. So
Yeah.
very kind of in par with Independence Day, very sci-fi, very save the world, very creature
Hmm.
oriented. So a good pair if you like that kind of stuff.
And you'll notice we're not really picking movies that are like Academy Award winner movies. We're picking movies that are a lot of fun,
Yes.
like
Yes.
Red and
Red.
Red
Oh,
2.
and this was a lineup that I liked both of them.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
liked both of them, and I will
Hmm.
say, I mean, obviously, the original is just a classic. I don't think it can be beatable, but Red 2 was also very entertaining and really well
Hmm.
done. So both of them really, to me, were so good. I think Red 2 might have had a little more kind of modern action to it, is what I would maybe say.
Hmm.
But both of them are so good and very quotable, very quotable.
Yeah. I'm the bad guy.
I'm the bad guy. Yeah, so good. You got a bunch of older secret agents,
Oh, yeah.
that
Some
are
of the best actors,
retired,
right?
extremely dangerous is what that red stands for, and
Hmm.
they're basically now on target. They're the targets, you know,
Yeah, they
they've been
are the
spending their
targets.
whole
That's right.
life
Yeah.
chasing targets. Now they've become the targets, and it's them surviving and getting through that, basically getting the government to look the other way by surviving through being the targets and
Hmm.
getting
Yeah.
trying to get caught. So,
And so this next little series of some movies, let me just put this one up here. Where did it go? There we go.
series of movies.
Yeah. Uh, and this is going to be a weird combination here. Um,
Okay.
Willy Wonka and the
Yep.
Chocolate Factory, right?
Okay.
So this one is the one that goes way back to this 1970, 1971, right? And we get introduced to the Oompa Loompas and the characters.
Yes.
And Gene Wilder does such a good job of being the crazy Willy Wonka. So many songs, more
Yes.
good songs.
Lots of songs.
Um, but that really leads into the Johnny
Charlie and
Depp
Chocolate
version.
Charlie and Chocolate
Yeah,
Factory, which
Charlie and the
both
Chocolate Factory.
both
Yeah.
are really well done. I will
Hmm.
say I love Johnny Depp. I can't believe I didn't think of him before.
Mhm.
But he's a top actor for me as well as Will Smith. I love both of them. They also have a lot of different films, very diverse films. They can do a lot of different roles and play a lot of characters. And he did a great job in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I mean, he
Yeah.
was the perfect actor to play him. Kind of a
Mhm.
bonkers kind of character, and Johnny is known for that, and he's
Yes.
perfect for that. I mean, it's
Hello,
fantastic.
Starshine.
The earth says hello. And the glove.
Oh, yes. Yes, his little gloves and,
Yes,
yeah. Everything in this room is, eatable. Even I'm eatable,
even I'm eatable.
but that
Oh,
is called cannibalism and is frowned on
cannibalism,
in
my dear
many
children.
parts of the world.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, there's so many great, yeah, so many great scenes in there. And the grandfather telling the story about when he worked at the factory. Of course, I was a much younger man then.
Yes, yes, and then the kid falls in the Augustus chocolate covered glue.
Augustus Gloop.
Ew, no
Ooh.
one would buy it. And the mom's just like, "Oh, thanks a lot," Oh my goodness.
And so that goes
Yeah,
back to another one because,
that's the one I
another
gasped
Johnny Depp.
at. This is probably my second favorite. I don't know.
Mhm.
Okay. I can't put labels on it. Don't listen to my labels anymore because Pirates of the Caribbean is also a top rated movie for me,
Yeah.
and I think for a lot of people, specifically this one, Curse of the
Mhm.
Black Pearl. I
Yeah.
liked the other ones. I've seen the other ones. They're all really good.
Mhm.
But something about the original one for me for this one, I I love it. It's witty, it's
Well,
comedy, it's fun.
a big part of it is that we're also a Disney family. And
Yes.
so I can't count the number of times that you and I have been to Disneyland together
Yes. Oh my
and
goodness,
been
a
on the
lot.
Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
Yes, which is
And
my
when
favorite
they
ride.
me too. And when they filmed this, they really paid a lot of homage, a lot of homage
Mhm.
to the ride.
Yes. I mean,
And
if
so the
if you
ride
haven't
came
been to
first.
Disneyland and you haven't been on the ride, it's outstanding. It's really
Mhm,
well done. The characters on the ride seem real.
mhm.
It's insane, and I think they actually did like some behind the scenes video about it because they spent so much time and money to make sure
Mhm.
that it was paying the right tribute to the movie because the movie is so outstanding and so well done,
Yeah.
and this is a highly rated movie. It's on
Yeah,
the chart.
this one's up there. So many people know about this one and Johnny Depp. Pirates of the Caribbean, definitely one of my top movies.
Mhm.
And just some of the great lines.
Mhm.
But the rum, why did you burn all
I
the
burned
rum?
the rum. Oh my goodness. This is the day you'll always remember, Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's right. And when he escapes from the island, and they said, yeah, he roped two sea turtles and rode them off the island.
With
It's
the
like,
hair on his
where
chest.
did he get the yeah? Where did he get the hair? It's
From
like,
my
yeah.
chest, the hair on my chest. Oh my gosh.
Just
Such a good.
some classic
Mhm.
classic
And I'd say it's
in Pirates
it's
of the Caribbean. Yeah.
it's decently family friendly, but definitely probably more young adult, just because there are some scenes maybe that are a little bit, darker, but
Mhm.
overall, definitely a
Yeah.
comedy as well.
Oh yeah, definitely a great one. And another one of the most quotable movies, not the most quotable movie. We haven't gotten to that one yet. Um,
Oh, of
Despicable Me.
course.
Yeah.
Of course. Oh, what a fun movie too, and I think
Hmm.
when you see it, I think a lot of I don't know if obviously it's highly rated among children. I'm sure
Yeah.
parents have seen it because of that, but it's
Hmm.
fun to watch just
Yep.
as an adult. It's fun. It's very, very funny.
Is it is that annoying?
Very. Oh my goodness. It's so fluffy.
It's so fluffy I could die. Oh
This
my gosh.
is another fun one, very family friendly. If you haven't seen it, I'd be surprised, but very family friendly.
Oh, I
Also
love
fun to
that.
watch as an adult, just feel good
Yeah.
kind of movie. Are those your
So
pajamas? These are not pajamas. This is my warm-up suit. What are you
what are
warming
you
up
warming up
for?
for? Going to
Going to
bed?
bed.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that's the one. Oh, I
Over
love
the hedge.
the music in that's actually really good too. I
It
love the
is a good
soundtrack.
one. Yep.
It's
Yep.
fun soundtrack.
More good movie music.
Yes,
Not
super
quite,
family
quite a
friendly.
sing along, but who doesn't love Hammy?
Oh my gosh. Rabbit squirrel.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yep.
And it's
So based on the comic uh, Over the Hedge, and there's a lot of great scenes in there. Um, I think we're going to run out of time, Beth. So I'm going to jump ahead to another one of our family favorite movies because we got Chicken Little, Megamind, Monsters versus Aliens, Monster House, Monsters Inc. So got a
Oh
theme
my
going on
goodness.
there.
Yes.
Um, there's the whole Lord of the Rings series,
Yep.
um, but
I'll pull
uh,
out really quick from that just the Monster House because it's seasonal. So really good one to watch for this season. Because
yeah,
it is based during Halloween. So just
mhm.
out of that pick, such a good pick he mentioned, but just pulling that one out because it's seasonal. If you haven't seen Monster House, I think it's a little more under the radar probably, but
Mhm.
such a good film, super funny, great animation, hilarious, family friendly, kid friendly. I mean,
Yep,
such a great seasonal
you'll
movie.
fall in love with Chowder.
Yes. Oh my gosh, Chowder. You will so fall in love with him. My nose is stuck in my brain. So
Chowder,
good.
what? You're a dork.
You're a dork. Yeah, just had to pull that one out because it's such a great time of season to watch it because it's the perfect time right now. As you can see, it's affordable as well, and that's probably because it's a little more underrated, but it's so good. Feel good.
And he once
Classic.
played for 3 days straight with only 1/4 a gallon of chocolate milk and an adult
Adult diaper.
diaper.
Wow. Who
Uh,
calls them that? Me and Chowder.
all right, here you go.
Oh, yeah.
What about Bob? How can you
This
go
is
wrong with Bill
hilarious.
Murray and Richard Dreyfuss?
My gosh. This is so quotable. I'm just gonna say I used to watch this all the time. All the time. Almost. I watched it at one point just every other day because it's so
Hmm.
funny. And there's so many scenes in it that it's one of those movies that if I watched it right now, I would just be able to talk with them because
Yeah.
everything is so funny and quotable. And it's actually a really good plot as well. You know, you have this patient who just really is longing for family
Hmm.
and he's lonely and he bonds with his therapist and his therapist does not bond back with him.
No,
And
it's not
so his
reciprocated.
therapist goes on vacation and doesn't tell him where he's going and this guy's trying to find him. He finds him, the family loves him, but his therapist doesn't, and it's fantastic. So funny,
You've got
such a
Good Morning
comedy.
America. You've got Bill Murray with his goldfish,
Yes.
and he gets up and says, "Good morning, Gil." I
I
said,
said,
"Good
"Good
morning,
morning,
Gil.
Gil."
Your mother has a fish."
Yeah,
And what do I call him? Gil.
Gil. Yep.
Good
Yeah.
morning, Gil.
This one's fantastic. Super,
Oh,
super.
it's a
And
great.
he plays a germaphobe, which I feel like plays into the whole movie and makes it all
Yes.
the more better. Uh, because he just and he ugh, he plays his role so well.
It's just another one of those. You've got to watch it. You've got
Yeah.
to. Uh, uh, Megamind is another one that is. I
Mhm.
mentioned that. I think everyone should watch that movie as well, Megamind,
Mhm.
because it's just kind of it turns the whole superhero thing upside down. So, Megamind, Monsters Inc. I am going to close with um, my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, then I already know it.
Yeah, you know what that one is.
Oh yeah, Wizard of Oz.
Yep, I've got the poster.
Yep.
Now this is yeah, this is the book, but I put it up because it shows so well. Wizard of Oz. That this was the movie that when I was growing up, it played on TV once a year because obviously I
Wow.
wasn't around in 1939 or whatever when it came out.
Mhm.
But Wizard of Oz was my favorite movie. I will say, I will let you know, I had a crush
Mhm.
on Dorothy as a kid. uh, this was the first movie that came out that actually was in Technicolor. So the first
Oh.
major motion picture that included color, and it starts off in black and white, and it moves to color, and then it ends again in the black and white. For
Mhm.
those of you who haven't watched the original Wizard of Oz, there's great movies, and we talked about The Wiz, which is a fabulous movie. There are some,
Wonderful spinoff.
yeah, there's some newer versions and stuff, but go back to the classic. The makeup is unbelievable. The song, everyone's singing the songs. Come on, if I only had a brain.
Yeah, I really enjoy this as well. It's really well done, really good. I really do love The Wiz as well. I will say though, it didn't get as much attention. I don't think it's really up on the charts at all, but you have
Mhm.
Michael Jackson and Diana
Oh yeah,
Ross.
yeah.
And it's, I mean, that's enough said. Lots of great
Mhm.
dancing and music, kind of weird.
He's on down. He's on
Um,
down the road.
yeah, lots of it's just kind of it's a spin-off, but
Mhm. Yeah.
it's fun and it's it's weird. It's a weird one. And you have to go into it knowing that it's kind of going to be a weird film. It's not straightforward in a sense for the plot.
Mhm.
It's very kind of almost a little bit everywhere, but it all does come together and it's just
Yeah.
weird and it's fun. Lots of good music, lots of good dancing, but you definitely have to see the original Wizard of Oz, even to get the spinoff. So,
Yeah. The
absolutely.
Wizard of Oz. The music is great. Where would we be if we didn't have the music from the original Wizard of Oz? We wouldn't have Izzy's version of Over the Rainbow on the ukulele,
That's true.
which is a beautiful, beautiful version.
Mhm. Yes.
And that's it goes to people's hearts. That's one of
Mhm.
the things about the movie. It was very simple.
Mhm.
um, I recommend people read the book too. The
Mhm.
book is good, um, but the original movie Wizard of Oz, off to see the wizard.
The Wonderful Wizard of Oz. The music,
Now,
yeah, you can't get any better with the music.
yeah, yeah, you got to go back to the original and watch that one. There was another movie, and I'm looking through the carousel here because I thought for sure I had added it, but I don't see that we have probably one of your favorite movies of all time. I didn't add it in the carousel.
I'm so surprised, but we all
Tell
know what it
everyone what
is,
your favorite movie is.
which is Mary Poppins.
Yes. Hmm.
Mary Poppins was my childhood favorite movie, and I mean, I'd say childhood into early teens. It was
Hmm.
probably my favorite movie. And I really don't feel like I know why, which is kind of funny. I mean, I don't have like an answer, but I know that I love the music. The music in it is just fantastic. And I think growing up, that's what really got me into wanting to do singing and dancing and all that stuff. Just watching Mary Poppins and seeing all of that, Step in Time, which is a fantastic scene where they're dancing on the rooftop. I mean, come on, it's
Hmm.
it's so well done. Even the scene, where they're laughing and the guy's floating to the ceilings. It's
Hmm. With
it's such a
Edwin.
funny
Hmm.
little scene there, and you have
I
great,
love
Dick
to
Van
laugh.
Dyke. Dick Van Dyke is such a great actor,
Hmm.
and he plays a dual role in that movie because he also plays the older man, which you really don't know because they do such a fantastic job for makeup.
Hmm. The old
But if
banker.
you
Mhm.
if you watch those credits, you'll see it's his name there. But oh
Yes,
my
and they're
gosh,
very clever about that. The other
Julie
Dick Van Dyke
Andrews.
movie that we don't have in the carousel is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh yeah,
Chitty, chitty, chitty,
also a
chitty,
good
chitty,
one.
chitty. Chitty, chitty, chitty,
Yes, also great music too. Oh my
chitty. Mhm.
goodness. And again, I
Yes.
think that's the thing for those 2
Push,
movies
push, push,
is
lift for
the
me.
music. The music just really makes you fall in love with the films.
Mhm.
They're a little bit more cheesy, like happy-go-lucky kinda thing, but the music makes it so fun, and that's kind of the gist, that's kind of the point of both of those movies.
Yep.
So,
Well, movie day has been fun with you, Beth.
yeah, this was fun. Love
Yep.
chatting about it.
Yep. We should do like a theme one because we didn't really
Yeah.
touch on Disney movies.
Right. Yeah. We definitely need to do a theme. Maybe
Yeah.
a theme of different movies and go through and kind of review a
And
little more in depth.
of your Disney movies,
Mhm.
which is your
Um,
favorite?
I've probably seen every Disney movie out there.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that would be fun. Definitely.
Yep. Because I think I like Tangled. I
Mhm.
think that was a good one.
Yeah.
What was some of the others?
I
Newer
mean, you
ones.
have Tangled, Princess and the Frog is
Oh
probably my
yes.
top movie,
Hmm.
if not for the obvious reason for celebration of Black,
Hmm.
ethnicity and finally having some Black colored characters. But also they did a really great job on the whole overall story. Would have loved to see her more as a person than a frog, but but I think it was a good step in the right direction, so it's definitely on the top for me.
Hmm.
But Tangled is a really good top movie. Obviously, Frozen went nuts, so everyone can't really. Frozen's Frozen's good. Moana, another top movie for a lot of
Oh
people.
yes. Hmm.
Super good
Yep.
film.
Pocahontas.
So Pocahontas, yep.
Hmm.
Lots of
And
different ones.
then the true classics. Some of the ones like um, Beauty and the Beast,
Beauty and the Beast. I was gonna say Bambi, Fox and the Hound.
Fox and the Hound. Yeah.
A lot of those are more classic films. Yeah. I mean, you can really go back to even the original Cinderella, not 1, 2, or 3, but the original Cinderella movie.
Hmm.
They've made a
Yeah.
lot of live action Cinderella, even live action Beauty and the Beast, but the
Oh,
original Disney movies are great.
some of the movies like Maleficent.
Mhm.
We didn't. That's another good one to add in there that I think
Yes.
once again it didn't really hit the box office the way that it might have,
Right.
and
Yeah.
so people didn't watch Maleficent.
And you still have Angelina Jolie who plays the main character,
Hmm.
and she's fantastic.
And Chris
So,
Pine.
mhm.
Chris
Another
Pine
great
is
actor.
hilarious in that one.
Yes. Yes.
And not taking himself too seriously. So
Yes.
I didn't include any of the Star Wars movies. Or Star Trek movies. I love the new ones. Speaking of Chris Pine, I love the new ones. I like the whole new series. So
Yeah, they did a good job.
all right, Beth, we gotta move on. It's been great being here live on Amazon with you. We'll
Awesome.
do some more stuff coming up. Um, More products, maybe. We've got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
I know you, your mother, and I will be back live on Amazon. It's here at Prime Days, so people take advantage
Yes.
of all of those things out there. Hang out in the green room for a moment. I'm going to sign us off.
Alrighty.
All right. It has just been fabulous. The Mid Century Dad, that's me, my mid centuryness, and the millennial daughter, that is Bethany Thurman. Thank you to everybody who came in and watched today. This is it. It's been movie day, and there's a picture of me with a full size bobblehead, a life size bobblehead of Stan Lee doing a little photo bomb when I was at the New York Toy Fair, and Bethany looking very beautiful there in her Bethany Bethanyness. So thank you to everybody for watching. And we've got more shows coming up later on. I've got some inventors coming on. And we will be talking to some inventors about their products. Cord Buddy, Cover 3. We've got, what do we got? The peel aways. That's going to be coming in. So there's plenty of stuff coming on and plenty of live shows here on Amazon Live. Everybody enjoy those. Have fun. Have a fabulous day. And we will talk to you all soon.